Welcome to the Masters in Human Resource Management. This is the first of two induction sessions. This one takes place on Monday the 24th of January and the second takes place on Tuesday the 26th of January. The slides have been recorded with an audio commentary for students who were not able to attend the sessions face-to-face, and also for all students to check back on the information that is provided in these slides. These slides will be posted on the My Beckett site for your course. Cover some of the most important information that you will need to know as you start your time at Leeds Beckett University. We'll say something a little bit about the arrangements for the current COVID-19 situation. We'll talk a little bit about getting to know each other and the blended approach for teaching that we're going to follow for this academic year. I will introduce you to our virtual learning environment, which is called My Beckett, and I will also tell you about some of the support that is available to you as a student whilst you're here with us. I'll then go on and talk to you about the support the library provides to you and the service that they provide as well, and talk about our course rep system and our students union. I'll follow by a course overview and then tell you a little bit more about our academic calendar and the modules that you'll study while you're with us. I'll finish this presentation with a little bit about the university's relationship with our professional body, which is the Chartered Institute of Personnel and Development. If you were at the live session for this induction, then you'll know that we then had a discussion time. If you weren't at the live session, then you'll be able to access the live question and answer session that will take place at the end of the week. My name is Christine Daly and I'm the course director for the postgraduate CIPD programmes in HR at Leeds Beckett University. Most of you will have seen me via the medium of a Microsoft Teams meeting when you had your interview. During the induction sessions, you'll get the opportunity to meet me face-to-face if you're here in Leeds, and we'll also, if you're not yet here in Leeds, have the opportunity to meet further online until you're able to come and join us here at Leeds Business School. Please view the full presentation on COVID-19 expectations at Leeds Beckett University on the content area on your My Beckett course site. And as I said earlier, please do that before you next come to campus. Thank you. On a slide, several slides ago, you saw a picture of me as your course director and the person that you'll deal with on a day-to-day basis. My manager is a lady called Zoe McClelland, who's the head of subject for the leadership, governance and people management subject area. You may find that you need to contact her if you have any issues that I can't deal with. She's very approachable and she can be emailed on z.mcclelland@leedsbeckett.ac.uk. We're fortunate to have a very supportive admin team for those of us who work on the postgraduate courses in human resource management. Your course administrator is a lady called Norma Canonier. Her contact details are on this slide. And Norma's line manager is a lady called Emma Fiddler, who's our academic services team leader. At the time of recording these slides, both of them are working at the university for 3 days a week and working from home for 2 days a week. But whether they are at the university campus or working from home, they are accessible and they are very, very responsive to your queries. When you are getting in touch with us, please make sure we know your full name and that we have your student ID number. That's very important because we often have students with very similar names, and also tell us the full details of your query. We'll pick up your email as soon as possible and get back to you as soon as possible. And as I said, we are very responsive. Please can you use your student email address when you get in touch with us. This is extremely important. It's part of your agreement with us at the university that we only use the official university email addresses. And also, it may well be that if you don't use your student email address, that your communication ends up in our junk mail. This happens because the university has got very sophisticated filters on the email system. And if there's any email that comes in, they think maybe from a source of concern, then they will not send it to our inboxes. Universities and other large public sector organisations throughout the world are very, very susceptible to cyber hacking. So we put lots of measures in place to stop that happening. And one of those measures to ensure that we're safeguarded and that our data is secure is to use our official email addresses. So please, please do use your student email address in communications with us. Leeds Beckett University is one of 4 universities in Leeds, and you may wonder, as a student of Leeds Beckett University, where actually you fit in to the wider scheme of things. Well, as a student on the MA in Human Resource Management, you are part of the Leadership and Governance People Management subject group, which in part is part of Leeds Business School, which is also part of Leeds Beckett University. Leeds Business School is one of the biggest schools in Leeds Beckett University. We have quite a few thousand students. Our subject group is pretty big as well, but our course is fairly small, and that's a real advantage to you because we are able to get to know you very well and also to support you very well on an individual basis. The formal methods of communication have been explained to you on the previous slides, but we also have an informal method of communication that we use for quick messages and sometimes to alert you to the fact that we've sent out a formal communication. And the means that we use for that is WhatsApp. So I will be setting up a course WhatsApp group, and if you'd like to join that course WhatsApp group, it'll be called MAHRM January 2022 because that was the time that you started the course. Please either text me or send me a WhatsApp message to that number 07387 233 291. I'm also looking for a volunteer from amongst you students to set up your own student WhatsApp group. I will not be in that WhatsApp group. It's just for you to share informal messages and pass information on to each other. So I'm looking for someone who's going to volunteer to do that and who will take on that task on behalf of the students who start in January 2022. If you'd like to join the student WhatsApp group, when you message me to say that you'd like to be in the course WhatsApp group, please say I'd like to be in the student group too, and I will pass on your number to the person from amongst you who volunteers to take on the role of setting up a student WhatsApp group. If you were able to attend our live face-to-face session on Tuesday the 21st of September, then you'll know we spent a little bit of time getting to know each other, talking a little bit about who we were, where we came from and where we are now, and what has motivated us to join the course. And also a little bit of something else that's interesting, that's not about studying, that makes you stand out. If you weren't able to join us for the live session on Tuesday, then you might like to think about this in time for our Q&A session on Friday the 24th of September. And then we'll have some information about you that we can share with the rest of our students, and they'll know that for when you get to join the class whenever you get to the UK. I now want to say a little bit about the approach to teaching that we're going to use for this academic year. This year, we're going to use a blended approach to teaching you on your course. This means that we will use some pre-recorded online materials that will be released to you prior to the start of your session, so you've got time to spend on them. And then we will also have live face-to-face seminars. Your pre-recorded online materials can include lectures, directed reading, some research. We may give you a video to watch. It'll be about 3 hours worth of work per module per week. On your timetable, it says that the online materials are released at 9 o'clock on Monday mornings. In reality, your module tutors might release them a little bit earlier than that, but you should have a week to prepare for the seminar on the topic that you're going to be working on. Those online materials will be accessible via the My Beckett site for your module, and I am going to explain a little bit more about My Beckett in a few minutes. For most of your modules, you will have 3 hours of face-to-face seminars per week. In those seminars, we'll be working on the topic that you've been studying the following week in the pre-recorded material. There'll be lots of discussion, there'll be other activities such as debates and role plays and question and answer sessions and little research activities, but they'll be based on the material that you had released to you the following week. Therefore, preparing for these face-to-face seminars is absolutely essential. If you don't prepare for those seminars, you won't really be able to engage with all the activities that we're putting on for you. It'll be difficult for you to follow the flow of the class. You might be a little bit frustrated, and over time, if you attend classes having not prepared, you will find that your fellow students might get a little bit frustrated with you as well. So please ensure that you spend the time preparing with the materials before you get to the class. I'd now like to say a little bit about our virtual learning environment, which is called My Beckett. All the universities in the UK and throughout most of the world have a virtual learning environment. The VLE is a platform and sometimes a portal for information, and it's very, very important here at Leeds Beckett, and our VLE is called, as I said, My Beckett. You can access My Beckett via the My Beckett app, which you can download from the App Store, and you can also access My Beckett online via the university's website. You'll probably find that you do a little bit of both. You can check your timetable via the app on your phone, but when you're working from the My Beckett site, you probably will want to work on your laptop or your computer. Any live online sessions that we do with you will mainly be used via Microsoft Teams, and one-to-one meetings that we have with you will also mainly, for the first few weeks at least, be undertaken over Microsoft Teams. If we are in the unfortunate situation of having to go into a further lockdown, then we will run our seminars over Microsoft Teams. It's something that we're very experienced in doing now because of our experience over 2021. I'd now like to say a little bit more about our virtual learning environment, My Beckett, and some of the most important areas of My Beckett that you'll find you're using on a very regular basis. So the first thing that I'd like to draw your attention to is the My Beckett course site. You will have a My Beckett course site whether you're on MAHRM or postgraduate diploma in HRM. It's not the site that you'll use all the time, but it is the one where we will deposit important information. So the COVID-19 full presentation is on your My Beckett course site. The slides that we are talking about now will be on your My Beckett course site. Information about employability and elective modules and lots of other things will be on your My Beckett course site. When we load materials onto the My Beckett course site, we will email you to alert you to the fact so that you can log in and read what we've put up there. As well as your My Beckett course site, you have a module site for every module that you do. Here's an example of a module site. Please ignore the dates for those workshops, they relate to a previous year. But this module site is called Developing Skills for Professional Practice, which is a module that all of our students will do. Now, not every My Beckett site will look identical because not every module is taught in the same way, not every module is timetabled in the same way, and not every module is assessed in the same way. But there is some commonality. You will always have a welcome site, you'll have module content, you'll always have information about assessment and feedback. So it's very much in your interest as soon as possible to start looking at the My Beckett module sites for the modules that you're studying this semester, and just reading that information so that you can be prepared and that you can actually ask really pertinent questions and get the answers that you need.